Welcome back to the Global Business Report on Arise News. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has congratulated Nigerian-born boxer Anthony Joshua over his victory against Kubrat Pulev on Saturday night. The governor, in a Facebook post on Sunday, said Joshua's victory is a justification for the state government's investment in sports. Abiodun also said the boxer's victory has brought pride to Ogun State, where he hails from. More sports news. Amazon Prime Video will today go live on Sky in the UK, Ireland, Germany, Austria, and Italy. At the same time, Now TV and Sky Ticket will be added to select Amazon Fire TV devices. The addition of Prime Video will cement Sky's place as an aggregator, joining Netflix, Disney Plus, and BBC iPlayer. It means that viewers with Sky Sports, BT Sports, and Amazon will have access to the full range of televised Premier League matches plus other content. Joining us to discuss these stories is Arise Sports Analyst Aron Akerejola. Aron, you're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So I want to get your take on what the governor of Ogun State said, because he said Joshua's win is a justification of Ogun State's investment in sports, and that's his Facebook post up there. Is he? I don't want to, because some people were jumping on him saying this. Is he saying it's a justification of a future investment in sports in Ogun State, or a justification of the investment they've already made and we're seeing the fruit of it in Ogun State? Well, how did you see it?
On the surface, that's what it actually sounds like. Well, that should not be the case, because we all know how Anthony Joshua rose to prominence, winning the gold medal at the Olympics, and actually from there just kicking off his career. So certainly that had nothing to do with this particular government's involvement in sport and involvement or probably investment in Anthony Joshua. Probably they've been doing sports for quite a while right now, invested in sports, and maybe the right word would have been an inspiration, because it can only be inspirational at this moment, not investment-wise, because at the moment I don't think Ogun State has actually put in any money. At that point is even past at the moment to say you want to put in money to actually help further Anthony Joshua's career. So I'm not even seeing that. Except there's something that has happened between Anthony Joshua. We know he's been to Nigeria and he's gone to Ogun State at some point in time. We're not sure, we're not privy to maybe what would have happened behind the scenes, but I doubt it with the way boxing is actually run. And at the moment, we know that Matchroom Promotions, which is where Anthony Joshua belongs to, yes, which is actually headed by Eddie Hearn, has nothing. They're not cash-strapped at the moment. They've never been cash-strapped, because if we've seen money pouring time and time again over the years since Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko. It's been upward trajectory for them, although there was a blip in the radar last year when he lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., which he reclaimed back. And come on, they made well over £20 million in this particular fight. So what are you talking about?
Right. So, okay, what's at this point, when we talk about funding for sports initiatives, in order to get this kind of outpouring of pride and celebration that we're seeing for Joshua's exploits, what's holding back investments, at least more of it's going into boxing in Nigeria? Is it that too much of it is dependent on the states? There's not enough private investment interest going into, and it's almost the same conversation we have with football and the NPL. Yeah. So what's the problem?
Now, the point is this, for sports, looking at it critically, intricately, investment in sports, as a governor, probably you might not be alive to reap the dividends, or probably take the accolades, or take the plaudits for investing in sports. Because sports is a long-term investment.
Right.
You do not just start at 18. Anyone who starts sports at 18, trust me, that person will be average or a little bit above average.
Right.
Sports starts from the cradle years, 3, 4, you begin to mold the athletes little by little, introduce them to the athlete so that they begin to do these things time and time again. They begin to do the basics, and it becomes your motto, your motto memory begins to understand that this is how you do things when you find yourself in this particular situation before you begin to go into high performance and the rest of them. It takes time and it takes money.
Right.
There are programs that run 15, 18 years. For people to get to the Olympics, they would have run probably in places like the USA and China. It doesn't happen overnight. They don't just pick someone in the street and say, we see that happen once or twice, but you must have been doing it almost the entirety of your life for you to be able to get to that point. And it needs consistent funding. Now, the way the structure of government here, whereby everyone is looking to reap dividends immediately, always looking for the low-hanging fruits, we cannot do that because we're always thinking of the now, not thinking of tomorrow. If we invest in today, what happens tomorrow? I mean, tomorrow somebody else will come and reap the dividends. That is what is always in the back of politicians.
Right.
So they don't want to.
They want something immediate, so they can celebrate it immediately.
Yes, so, right. But unfortunately, that's why you look at Nigeria right now and you look at the sporting sphere. We are extremely talented, extremely gifted, but
the
we do
money,
not.
so
If Anthony Joshua was in Nigeria, would he have been able to attain this height? Is the big question. The answer is almost no. Well, we cannot say for sure, but the answer, if you're just looking at their citizens, the answer is almost no, because we do not even have the system to actually help these athletes grow. It takes high performance that is where the big boys actually play. It takes concentration. The athlete should not be thinking about how to make a living. He should be more concerned about how to get better.
Right.
That's lightning focus that is needed to actually metamorphose him from being just the regular athlete to a super athlete. Do we have that environment around us? We're still talking about stadiums. Our stadiums all over the place, the one in Lagos, the one in Abuja, which are some of the biggest stadiums we have in Nigeria, they're all moribund right now. All moribund right now. They're talking about revitalizing them. We're talking about concessioning them. We've been speaking about that for the last 4 years.
For a long time.
And nothing has happened.
So the answer is still private sector investment. Is that where we need to look at for the private sector?
And even for the private sector, it must align with their ultimate goal for them to keep pumping in cash. Because the private sector too, in Nigeria, always they will wait till probably there's the African Cup of Nations, the Olympics, or any big tournament before they begin to shell out cash to actually help athletes.
Gotcha.
So it's a systemic problem.
One more question. If there is more investment coming in, where you see private money coming in and boosting the stadiums, boosting the athletes, do you fear that can lead to recouping your investment, lead to an increase in costs for tickets, for example, to attend these type of things? If you look at if a Joshua Fury fight was going to happen here in Lagos now, you can imagine how much would that price out the average Nigerian?
Without a doubt, because these people now, we've been talking about Anthony Joshua. He pocketed well over £20 million. That's not all going into his pockets.
Right.
Matchroom will take a chunk of it. He's got trainers. He's got physios. He's got he's got a whole array of backroom staff that will ensure that money is decimated. He might get probably walk away with £8-9 million of his own, but the rest of them will go into running costs because trainings that have been paid for, somebody has to get the money back.
Right.
All the time, the gyms that were used, because gyms will be closed to ensure that Anthony Joshua gets his own privacy. Somebody's investment.
Excellent.
So we look at all that.
They go into the cost of
ultimately, and that is why they're taking it to the Middle East, because right now they can easily dip their hands into their money bags and just shell out the cash. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, if it goes on in 2021, they're saying that it's going to rake in $200 million.
Wow. You can imagine what that money would do for Nigeria if they were to host that kind of fight here.
But can they get that kind of that kind of pool, and then can they get that kind of money in Nigeria? The answer is no.
Real quick, we've got less than a minute.
Okay.
The Sky, Amazon Prime, I understand Premier League games are going to be part of the package. Streaming services, I want to get your thoughts. Streaming services.
I am still very skeptical because they know that as soon as this thing goes into streaming, talking about Sky, now we know what Sky, they've been finding it even difficult. The return of the Premier League, first of all, they tried to go online and say pay-per-view, pay as you watch. Yes. And the fans fought it. The fans fought it literally. And as a matter of fact, they said, rather than give this money to watch these things by this new system, let's give it to charity. And they were doing that. There was a lot of boycotts that they had to cancel it. So whether this will fly is left to be seen.
Okay. All right, sports analyst Aron Akerejola, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Insights, Aron. Appreciate that. You're watching the Global Business Report here on Arise News. We'll have more for you after the break. Do stay tuned.